What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. This is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by MFTKFoundation.com. MFTKFoundation.com is the go-to website for all things the foundation related, book bag drives, all that other jazz. Yeah. Oh, tons of somebody just hit the portal again. Anyways, we got good. Damn, it's Friday. Another Friday. Feels like the Fridays are just mowing by. I felt like it was just January, not too long ago. But we're gonna get this. We will get this thing started. The same way we get each and every show started, with a good, quick word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
All right, Jaden, let's roll with what we got.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another morning edition of Big Games B.S. here on Friday, June 26th. This is your first time at the show. Welcome. And if you're wondering why it's called Big Games B.S., it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. First things first, we have some continuating topics to get through before getting to the NCAA section for today. I'm going to start out with some FSU news, some news surrounding the Garnet and Gold from football and basketball, give you guys some update on the college football landscape, and look at some players and programs before getting into the NFL. Have some Jaguars news to kick off our NFL discussion, and then we have to talk about the biggest news story coming from the NFL by way of Tallahassee, by way of Alabama, now by way of Detroit. So we're going to discuss the Terrion Arnold situation, also drop some nuggets of new information for you guys before closing out the show with our Big Games BS section, with our BS or Bussin' food review segment for you guys. So first things first, let's get this shared with you guys. And James, how do high schools sign up for this Southeast High School Football Classic in order to win that $10,000?
Well, they inbox, or they hit us up. There's two numbers up there: my number or Kobe Wright's number, and then you got to pay the $500. We still, we got a couple teams that did drop out, for whatever reasons. They have their reasons. Brains was supposed to be. You know what? Can I send you this real quick, Jane? Do you think you can pop it up? Because I guess this is the best time to make the announcement. I forgot to make the post because I was talking to Coach LJ late. So we had the first official paid team. And I'll say this. I give ChatGPT a lot of shit. A lot of people give it a lot of shit, right? But when you give it pictures, it actually does a pretty damn good job with the graphic. Like when you if you take the this is basically what all graphic people do. And they'll charge you $40 for this shit. But I actually kind of like this one. And I just sent you, but I want to tell you guys, like Ed White Commanders, from the west side of Jacksonville, are the first team to commit to fully commit, meaning they're paid and all, and they're again fully committed to coming in, and they've got some pretty damn good prospects, man. They've got a kid, like one kid I don't know if I can say it. One kid I would have loved to have coached at another school, is Sidney Smith. He's getting all kinds of offers. He's a class of 2028 kid, rising up the charts. He's a safety. They've got Jakari Parks, 3-star DB who's committed to Wake Forest, I believe. And he's got about 29 offers on the season. They got to get King Nelson, who is another kid who's rising up the charts, rising up. And they've got King Boylston, who's a quarterback who's got a couple offers from Army, FAU, I believe Jack State. Some guys are, he's a really good athlete, becoming a little bit better of a passer. They just went down to the Muck City 7-on-7 where they beat Carroll City, who ended up being the eventual champion. But good offense. I mean, very explosive, fun offense to watch. But that's the first one. We're going to make one here for the next school. And really, we just want people who want to get that smoke, want to get that action. So, yeah. So, big kudos to Ed White. Ed White got the invite. Ed White said, Ed White, I pushed. I sent all the coaches the same thing on Monday. I think it was Tuesday, because we got everything. No, Wednesday. I apologize. We got everything finalized on Wednesday. I sent it out on Thursday morning to some teams. Ed White was the first one. They got their entire fucking roster uploaded. Like, it's not even a game for them. Like, they got this shit on lock. So, good for them. Kudos. Appreciate them coming in. That's a big team. We want teams that want to compete. So if you're scary out there, I don't want to hear that it's getting too close to the season shit. It's a Saturday, and these kids going to go compete anyway. So you might as well let it be in a safe environment. So that's all I got to say about that.
And James, tell us more about your seventh annual community give back weekend. That's going to be happening this summer in these three cities right here.
We got Orlando, July 18th. Tally, my birthday weekend in Jacksonville. Two separate weekends. We're trying to get sponsors involved, man. It's a lot. It's slow motion right now. We got to get everything built back up. We got to get people involved. People showing, showing the love. But $36, book bag, and about a week's worth of food. In Tallahassee alone, First Harvest has been now they're charging $750 per 100 families to be able to feed. We would like to be able to feed at least 3 to 400 families. So if you do the math, that's $3K right there. I think I'm right. It's 750 for 100. So now I gotta be wrong. 750 times 750 is, my bad, 3,000 for 400 families. I apologize. Yeah, I was wrong. 3,000 for 400 families. That'd be great to be able to accomplish. But again, cost money. Same thing in Jacksonville. We have to do some similar stuff where we have to break down stuff and be able to get it, make sure we're able to get it to the communities in which we need. So, it costs, but at the end of the day, if you ain't living, if you ain't giving, like my guy Bert says.
FSU has received a commitment from four-star defensive lineman Sam Lejeune. He is 6'3" and 280 pounds, and he is a defensive lineman from Poplarville, Mississippi. He chose the Seminoles over Cal and over Washington as well. And we have his huddle for you guys right here.
So he's a Cajun, right? I don't want to just say a white, but he's a Cajun. But 6'4", ooh, 0 to 9 technique. They basically saying my dog play it all. Multiple block kicks. I like that. So when he's not getting the sack, he's affecting the play. Wow. He is like not playing down to the level of his competition. I like highlight films that like, I feel like I need popcorn. That might be a new prop that we get when we watch some film. Give me some popcorn. He was the runner there? No bullshit. Bring that back. Bring that back. Hold up, dog. Hey, hold up. Hold on. Jaden, bring that back. I gotta see where was he at on the film. All right, go back to that one too, because I missed what I was looking for. All right, we're good. We just roll it from here. When we see the red coats, let's pause it real quick. So he really is is that point? That's not pointing to the back. That's pointing at the offensive line position. All right, let's try it. I'm gonna look there. Okay, that one wasn't as great. But this is hellified hustle here.
He's so much faster. Oh my gosh.
That's insane. Yeah, can we go find some of the other measurables? This is gonna I hope he's not like all the I hope we have a different our history in Mississippi at Florida State, not just Mike Norvell, is not very great. Okay. Things not so this man runs 11, 9, and 100 at 200, almost 200. He'll be 300 pounds. I need to get his clean up a little bit more. That's a hefty squat there.
Yeah, how old is he?
31 inches in the vertical is explosive for that size. Anybody want to know here? These used to be my bottom, my ideal explosiveness things, and these are things I'm going to work with Trey. If you're a D1 athlete, you have to jump over 9 feet in the broad jump. Personally, I believe it should be 10 to be elite. Believe it or not, I actually got a 10-9 at an arena workout when I wasn't sure if I was done playing or not. But I had 10-5 at FSU's Pro Day documented. Now, I had a 40-inch vertical. I'm not going to hold you. I cheated. There's ways to cheat the vertical. But I've always had over 30, between 32 and 35, even when I wasn't cheating. But I think anybody who's truly a D1 athlete should have over 30 inches in the vertical. 4.8, he probably only runs 4.8 because he doesn't know how to run the 40. This kid, like right now, that film does match explosiveness. Like if you're 30 inches in the vertical and you're over 9.5 in the broad, his clean probably needs to be over in the threes, but that's still a lot of weight that he's moving for a young man. 6'4", 280. Man, for the type of defense that Florida State wants to run, this kid's got to be a priority. You got to pay this man. So that's a great question, Miles. And this is why I always challenge the speed that I want to see is your miles per hour more than I want to see your 40. And I want to see how consistent you hit that. They got this thing called Catapult. Catapult is allowing us to be able to see the results of people, right? Baby Fisk is from what we saw there, that's a great comp right there. Because Fisk is definitely, if you close your eyes and listen to Fisk, you have no idea that that's a Caucasian man. But I say that is because if you're consistently going over 20 miles per hour, you're fucking fast. There are guys who can't. I believe in that. There's people who probably can go. He could probably go 22 miles per hour at his peak. That probably was. That motherfucker was hauling ass. But a lot of guys will run these times, and you'll never see it on the field. Somebody who I believe is going to just be fast in general. He's fast, especially he's just heavy on his feet. I gotta get him. Gotta work on my baby. That motherfucker Biles yesterday. Kai put on full pad. Kai moves the same speed in full pads as he does without him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like there's some people when they put pads on, they all of a sudden just become become slower, and that's not good for football. That's why people say like, I don't really care about your forward. But check this: if you are under 5 seconds in the 40, you are one of the fastest human beings on earth. Like in comparison to all humans, you're not one of the fastest football players. You're one of the fastest human beings on the earth. Because people don't realize how rare that is. If you want to know how rare that is, right now after the show, take your fat ass outside, walk 40 yards, and time it, and let's see how fast see how slow your ass is. That's why when I was talking to the Army, they were changing the conditioning test. They were like, we want to get away from the 2 miles. And I said, listen, dog. If you're getting shot at, do you want the ability to run for 2 miles in a straight line where enemy snipers and everybody can get you, or do you need to be able to get to 20 to 40 yards at max? But you really need to be getting to 10. That's 30 feet. You need to be getting 30 feet in cover. But also to go into the science of the 40-yard dash, I want to see his 10-yard and his 20-yard splits. Like, because in football, if I can't get, if I got my steps on you, if my 3 steps, my 5 steps to get to 10, if I'm cooking in that and you still trying to accelerate, bro, you ain't catching me. But that boy was booking though. Yeah. Like, damn. Got me excited.
Yeah, that looks like one. I'm surprised.
You know what though? It makes me want to understand something. Jaden Amount, I need y'all to look this name up. Kindred Outland, Kindred Outland. I want to see what I ain't gonna hold you. Kendrick, my guy, that's my man, $100,000. He ain't that Cajun. That Caucasian. Oh, can we spell it like that? Like CAU, but then put Cajun at the end? Because that's not a Caucasian, that's a Caucasian. That motherfucker fast. So do we have a full? Yeah, let's go ahead and look at his full junior score. This is another kid, 27, my guy from Mandarin. Different type of player, more of a detail, but he plays everywhere on online. Now, what I want y'all to notice is, did y'all see how he bullied? That's a fucking hell of a clip to put on there, Kendrick. I like the bulliness. Like Kendrick made a player sack the quarterback damn near. Saying, "Oh, good team." That's a fine in the NFL, but that's perfectly legal in high school. Fought off. I don't know who is we playing. Is this okay? This is them grown ass men at Pace. Pace might have been the biggest motherfucking line I've seen outside of IMG. Oh, that's him playing on fullback for us. We got to clean up his film. This is the most annoying thing is having experts at your school and people don't utilize the expert. Now, do you see how he shoved the guy into the tackle? Damn, Kendrick's film is impressive.
Yeah, I was about to say we don't hear enough about him. He's looking like
Kendrick nice. Kendrick like that. He a 3-star. He just doesn't go to any. He just doesn't go to camps. We got to clean up his film. Now he's committed to South Florida. Now, what I was just talking about the field goal blocks. You want those? Now I want you guys to realize, y'all know what his dream school is. Anybody want to take a round of like, who does he play with? And what is his dream school? If anybody in the comments could tell me that, I would I don't know what I'll tell you, what you'll get, but just you can probably take a wild guess. This is the playoff game against Buchholz. Did y'all see him drop the motherfucker? He's definitely caught, like, he's a three. I think he's a true three technique. But he plays everywhere on our D line. So, but nah, we'll watch this last one. When they put wait for it, I hate that. I better have needed to wait for it. I could have. You didn't have to put that on that, Kendrick. Let's see. I don't want to end like that. Well, never. That's fine. We're good. But yeah, Kendrick wanted to go to FSU. That's his dream school. Damn, that was good. Impressive, good little. But levels. Willing to admit, like, okay, if Sam is a 4-star, which I'm going to, I guess I'm looking at, he's only a 4-star because of the level of comp, and maybe because he's 27. I'm trying to figure out how much better that might be. Something I do later on. We'll take FSU's class, the commits, and I'll look at that guy. I know we've watched some of their film, but I'll look at that, like how we looked at, everybody's loving loving my guy Ryan from the other day, Miles. Like, people picking like, oh, he always been that guy. Calm down, fucking relax. That's why we do things like this, because I know not everybody knows who Ryan is. So we're going to help people know who Ryan is. And because the goal is to get my guy the money, but he did play on Rare Breeds. That team with Bryson, that might be the greatest ever talent assembled. Another kid I want to see next time we get a safety. I want to see that safety in comparison to my guy Casey Barner. So I like to take guys that I know or that I personally have connections with, and I want to compare them to who we just got. But I also want to be able to compare them to who is the best person in that position, and how far off are we in that comparison, or even in comparison to a DN that Miami might got, a DN that Florida might got, DN that Clemson might got, so that you can kind of know. It doesn't mean that these guys aren't going to get better or somebody's not going to get declined. You don't know the level of play. Sometimes when you're surrounded by a team of mutants, it's easy. Like IMG is hard to see IMG film. IMG got 56 kids going to college, man. Like everybody on that team fucking good. But I am, I was curious about that. But I really, that Sam Legume or whatever his name is, that kid is c'est magnifique.
Huge shout out to Florida State guard, and for all of my local Duval watchers right now, Fletcher High School grad LeJay Jones, because he was a second-round pick of the Golden State Warriors in the NBA draft on Wednesday night. He was the 54th overall pick and the first selection from a Duval County public school program since James Collins went to the Clippers. So
damn, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. That was a long time ago. James Collins played at Florida State, was the coach for Andrew Jackson High School for years, and is now currently the head coach at Oak Cliff High School. That's wild, man. But Jay Jones is nice though. Like again, all the basketball draft picks look like they could have played in High School Musical. It's a lot of cut product. was in that draft, man.
Also, as well, shout out Robert McRae the fifth as he gets a 10-day with the Los Angeles Lakers. So we got two Seminoles going over to the West Coast. So shout out to LeJay Jones on getting drafted in the second round by Golden State. And shout out to Robert McRae the fifth as he gets a 10-day with the Lakers. Hope you guys have a great, great NBA career for sure. Keep putting these Seminoles on for sure. We have some college updates to share with you guys, and they are ranging from across divisions. And we got some FCS news to discuss right here. A lot of people are saying Fran Brown walked so the FCS could run, and FCS programs would be able to engage in a joint practice with another four-year institution during the spring, starting next year. And then we actually have a repost to talk about, courtesy of Coach D. Will, saying spring ball, as we know, could disappear. Right now, most FCS schools have 15 spring practices, summer workouts, and fall camp. The proposal would replace that with two out of season practice periods, 21 total on field practices, up to 7 total weeks, and neither period can exceed 5 weeks. So instead of one spring practice block, coaches could split practices throughout the year. Example, 10 practices in March through April, and 11 in May through June, or 7 practices in the spring and 14 practices in the summer. More flexibility.
Um, so only FCS schools can do this. So this doesn't affect your Florida State, your Oklahomas. Those are FBS, full football bowl subdivision and football. Is it championship?
Yes.
So, all right, subdivision. So so that means like FAMU could practice with. Shit, I don't even know who's still in FCS. Oh, Tennessee State, like because they're no longer in the same division, and probably would never see each other because of because of the way that the two HBCU conferences, the MEAC and the SWAC, have set up the Celebration Bowl. You would have to do what FAMU did under Willie, where you won so much and the only game you lost was to Jackson State, but you were still ranked high enough to be able to go on the road and play in the college football playoff, which costs you a lot of money, especially if you have to travel, because that comes out of your pocket in the team in the higher seeded team host. But when you look at the practices, most teams traditionally during spring, they don't practice every day. You practice about 3 days a week, and it's 15 practices. So that gets you about 6. They carry it over to where it's about 6 weeks. So like now, and really to be honest with you, who the fuck cares? Unless you want to like start, I guess where you could care is you could do like a mini camp. Like you could treat it more like NFL, right? You could have your 15 days of spring ball like you always have. That gets you 15. And then you can have you can have a June mini camp. Or actually, I'll probably have an end of May, like a mini camp right before you get ready to go to before they start summer session, and then a mini camp at the end of June, and then you start ball the first week of August. So like I could see that, but nothing really earth shattering with that. Like the only way it would work is if you could. It would be crazy and dope in Tallahassee if you could set up a FAMU versus FSU joint practice. And that would be really, really cool. And you can have light scrimmages and you can do all these different things, just a controlled scrimmage so where the tempers don't flare. And it'll be really, really just good for both programs to be able to use and be able to um, piggyback equipment off of each other.
According to the College Transfer Portal's X account, aka at College FB Portal, the NCAA has voted to shorten the portal window from 15 days to 10 days starting in 2027. So, next year's window will run from January 4th to the 13th.
Okay. I really don't care. I'm so over the portal and the portal windows. Like, just like there's still loop arounds, there's still workarounds, and just whatever.
Ross Dellinger gave us some great information with these pictures right here. So he said Open Doors is projecting college athlete compensation rev share plus third party pay to exceed $4 billion this coming year. So just to compare it to some numbers, a Big Ten school's annual average spend exceeds all others at 48 million, followed by the SEC with 44, the ACC with 29.4, and you got the Big 10, excuse me, the Big 12 with 24 million. You can see this graph right here kind of illustrates that as well. Take a look at the Big Ten in the league for sure in terms of college football. And yeah, take a look at this too. Here's what the market is paying for marquee positions. Power forward quarterback, 90th percentile, 1.5 million. High major men's basketball center, 90th percentile, $1.1 million. But let's go back to that first picture right here. Today, new visibility into the landscape suggests that estimate of $2.8 billion a year ago was too conservative. Power Four schools are spending up to 21.3 million revenue sharing cap while also digging in couch cushions for additional dollars via commercial channels. Based on current market activity and school spending patterns, Open Doors estimates these above cap opportunities will generate an additional $735 million in athlete earnings during 26-27. As a result, the total NIL market is now projected to exceed and reach 4.5 billion this year, a 50% increase from previous estimations. In other words, the NIL economy is evolving faster and growing larger than almost anyone anticipated. You can see the new estimate is around 5.1 billion at the end of this graph, while the original estimate at that point in time was 3.2 billion dollars. So you can see they're way above their original guess. And let's look at third party deals as well. So, existing sources, including former collectives, athlete agencies, apparel partnerships, and event based income, aka multi team events, neutral site games, ticket premiums, purchase roundups, will help bridge the gap, but it'll often get schools all the way there. Increasingly, the difference is being made up through third party NIL opportunities. As schools operate within cap constraints, the ability to attract and facilitate bona fide commercial NIL activity has become one of the most important competitive advantages in college athletics.
So I like how they broke it down right here on average. So, because that's what I was just doing. They put the biggest number in front of you, right? So that just for the shock value, right? So 5 point, I think the max is going to be, it says it can hit 5.1 billion overall cap. I mean, overall market cap, right? Did I get that right? All right, I think that's what I saw with one of the slides. I can't hear Jaden right now, but when you divide that across all of the eligible Division One schools, you get just under 40 million as the average spend per school. That does, and they're not just talking about football, they're just talking about spending. $40 million for a business that brings in probably, who knows what they bring in on average, but let's just say they bring in over 100 million. It's not a crazy number. It's a business. It's a profitable business. It's a business that makes money. It's a business that everybody gets to participate in. And the crazy part is it's no different than anybody else's job. It's no different than any other professional organization. Most of the people on that team are not making millions and millions of dollars. Most of them are just hardworking individuals that are making 5 figures, which is still pretty fucking good. But everybody wants to be able to hate it because you want to be able to disassociate yourself from it, and they do that on purpose so that they can create a division and a divide when you have way more in common with that kid than you have in common with the university that's making all of the fucking money. They wouldn't even be in this position if it wasn't able to be done. The problem is that everybody else has been able to benefit for so long that the correction seems to be an overcorrection when it's probably still not even close to what the true value is. And you'll never get that until they allow the players to be able to collectively bargain and they create a union. But they would never allow that to happen because then the true anarchy will ensue. This all sound, man. I found a series that I'm mad at all of y'all, even though it's fairly new. It's only 2 seasons, but it is really good. This Fallout. When I tell you Fallout is Fallout, when I tell it ain't even they not even hiding the messaging and all of the other different things, but it shows you the corruption and it shows you how fucking gullible people are. Like so many people go with it. And it's like, but you're on the outside. But again, I'm probably just as gullible as the people who are on the show because I can see it in somebody else's lives. But like they can't see it as they're going through it. Got an issue with Jaden, I think.
I'm here right now if y'all can hear me.
Right. But it doesn't. And the craziest part with all of this, most people are indifferent to things when it doesn't affect them, like when punishments don't affect them. That's how racism and that's how sexism and that's how a lot of the isms are perpetuated. Oh, that's bothering them. It's not bothering me, so I don't need to worry about it. But we never flip it. Like not one penny that those players are getting paid affect you. Pro players getting paid as much money as they can does not affect your day-to-day. It's the other shit that affects your day-to-day, like the fact that they're using taxpayer dollars to be able to build stadiums. But I also understand that when you have a $500 million tax base, you want to keep that in the city for as long as possible to be able to pay for other things.
Let's take a look at some of the most highly anticipated wide receivers coming into next football season, college football season. And we're doing this based off of College Football 27's metric. Yes, we're going to be looking at the EA Sports College Football 27 top 10 wide receivers for all of my gamers out there. I know we got some people who love to play video games and especially that college football franchise. So, no surprise, Jeremiah Smith is 99 overall. Yes, the Ohio State Buckeye is a 99 overall in the game. Malachi Toney, only 3 overall behind Jeremiah Smith. The Miami wide receiver Cam Coleman at Texas at 92. Deuce wide receiver with the overall. KJ Duff, Rutgers, Ryan Williams at Alabama, Mario Carey is the name, Scudero at Colorado. He was at San State season. Mistaken. Thomas, Houston, Cost from now and Miami.
Yeah.
With the top receivers next season. Moving.
Okay, so it was. So I was about to ask. So everybody else was Jada's thing was going in and out. Okay. Basically he was just y'all can read the list, what was going on with there. But shout out to Deuce Robinson being the number 4 overall wide receiver on the video game. One of the discrepancies on the video game, I don't know if Jada's gonna get into that, but actually I'll wait. But Malachi Tony being up there, that's good. Cooper, again, the person that doesn't get enough of the love in NIL, Cooper, that's the craziest thing with him. But yeah, I can't wait to play the video game for a week when it pops up. We didn't get the beta. I paid for it too late. We got the beta Madden, and Trey was just like, yeah, that's Madden. But really, I'm pretty sure that the NCAA beta is the NCAA game ain't gonna be much different. The only thing that's cool about the NCAA game is that you get the new names and new rankings. But one day somebody's gonna come in, and again, this would be and EA Sports would be amazing if they would just do this. Just say we have this, and just until you can truly get a new update, some real good tech, right, and make the graphics better. Just charge us $30 for updated rosters. You know what I'm saying? Like, just figure out what the cost is. Like, it doesn't have to be $150 every year. I know you're being greedy. I know you got to get your stuff. It shouldn't even cost that much because I'm buying it without getting the CD. So it's not like you got to print CDs. You literally just send a code. And we just click the link.
It is just being greedy for sure. That's all it is.
But just all we want is maybe some updated graphics. But like, what's going to end up happening is some nerd is going to get smart enough to be able to do all of these different things, and they're just going to sell you the rosters. They're going to come up and figure out how to make a white guy be a fast receiver for Miami, or they're just going to steal what one person just needs to buy the game, and they just need to steal all the data and then be Robin Hood.
People do it. People go online and they'll give you updated rosters and stats based on whatever. They'll edit them out. They'll put in all those hours of work, but do it for free at least.
Yeah, when they do those, like when they add teams and those people do all of that work, I'm like, brother, like that's a lot.
Yeah, you should get paid.
You should get paid for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that guy. I believe you should get paid. But I see we're gonna go to the NFL from that. But before we get to that, he's just Penn State guy. You talking about Strange? Yeah. Just like the other one, Parker. Like we don't know what the fuck. It's they were in a climate where there was no sun. Like, it's just cold. But here's my problem with the NCAA thing though, and how they use hype and not realism. Being Olympic level speed is fast, right? When people say that, it's typically like, hey, that guy is really, really fast. There's only one person that would be a high-ranked guy on the video game that should have that. And that would be Mekhi Danzey. Mekhi Danzey's ACC champion, 400 meters. We've seen him run. When he gets top speed, I don't think he's ever been caught to this day. Now, he has 95 overall speed on the video game.
That's crazy. What's Tony? I got it.
99.
Oh.
Like it's not like we don't have numbers to be able to compare. And I'm not saying Malachi Tony shouldn't be 99. What I'm saying is, if we've seen a guy get on a track and beat some of the fastest humans, he's probably 99. Now, if you want to say his acceleration isn't as good as Malachi, I would agree with you because that's why he runs the 400 and not the 100. If you want to say his agility isn't as good, I agree with you. But what I'm going to suggest is that if anybody deserves a 99 overall speed, it's probably Makai Dancy. That's just my thought process. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. My opinions are just typically rooted in facts. But yeah, that's wild.
Am I
Yep.
coming in and out?
No, you're good right now.
Now we are going to transition from college football to the big leagues to the home team here in Denano for the Jaguars. And we got some special news coming from that tight end group because the Jaguars and Brenton Strange have agreed to terms on a 3-year extension worth up to $48 million with $25 million guaranteed. So he's getting $25 million guaranteed out of that contract worth up to $48 million. So shout out Brendan Strange and the Jags on agreeing to this new extension to lock in our tight end.
I mean, he's one. You got to have a guy who's like. I am shocked. I didn't know that. That's really how he looked.
Yeah.
Like not the light skinned in this. He's handsome.
Oh yeah, yeah. He has what do the kids? He's mogging right now.
Mogging.
Mogging when you make that the face from Zoolander. You know the face.
Oh yeah. I didn't. Okay. I wouldn't expect this to be a guy who's willing to go into concussion protocol.
Right.
I now understand so much of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is against anybody who takes away from him, who's prettier than him, which is a lot. All right, so Trevor Lawrence is like, you got to go. I'm going to throw you into the defense. But he is a key piece. He definitely was a gamble with them not bringing Ingram back and putting their faith in him. So now they rewarded him. He's getting paid pretty well. They brought in another guy so they can run. They want to run their 12, their 13 personnels, and I ain't even mad at it. So he's a good solid piece that you want to be able to keep because again, it's a superstar driven league, but it's not a superstar fuel league. You have to have key role players, and you have to keep your role players there as long as you can. And as the salary cap is increased, you're able to pay your role players a lot better. And he's a key role player.
Now we are at the biggest story coming from the sports world, especially for all the people living in Florida, for all the people who like the Alabama Crimson Tide, and for any of the Detroit Lions fans in the chat watching us. We are gonna giving you guys an update on the Terrion Arnold situation. We got a lot of information to unpack, but let's start it off from what really kicked it off. So, according to Ari Meroff, Terrion Arnold has been arrested with an armed robbery and kidnapping in Tampa, Florida, earlier this year, and is facing multiple felony charges that carry that maximum sentence of life in prison. And this is how that incident unfolded, according to Tampa police. I'm not going to read all of it word for word, but I will be reading the meat and potatoes of the situation. So, police say this all started after Arnold and several others had property stolen from an Airbnb rented in Largo in early February. Investigators say Arnold believes some of the eventual victims were responsible, even though police later determined they were not involved in the theft. On February 3rd, police say Arnold and Bouquet Hilton, who investigators say helped coordinate the alleged setup, directed Ariana Del Val and Jasmine Randazzo to contact one of the victims and lure him to an apartment in Tampa. Around midnight on the next day, investigators say victims arrived at that apartment, and once they entered a bedroom, police say Christian Williams and Lindell Hudson, who had been hiding in a closet, jumped out, grabbed the victims, held them at gunpoint, and attacked them. Investigators say the incident was streamed to Arnold Hilton and Freddie Hughes while they were traveling to the apartment. Police also say there was a group chat involving the defendants and that Arnold and Hilton gave directions through the chat while the attack was happening. About an hour later, police say Arnold arrived at the apartment with Hilton, Hughes, and another person, and that he directed them to go inside while the robbery was still going on. Investigators say property was stolen from the victims during the attack. Around 1:40 a.m., police say the victims were escorted out by force into their vehicle. Police said Delval Williams and another individual then got into a vehicle driven by Arnold and left. So the victims later reported this to the police, and after the warrants were executed, the detectives arrested multiple people in the next following weeks. Arnold was the primary conspirator in the alleged robbery kidnapping plot, and he turned himself on Wednesday night and is now facing 4 counts of kidnapping and of armed robbery. And we actually going to fast forward to Mr. Arnold in the courtroom. He did make his court appearance. It's quite a lengthy video, but we got it for you guys right here so you can take it from the judge's mouth about the specifics of the Terrion Arnold case. So I'm going to blow this up with you guys. Make sure the sound is on and enjoy this video.
Justin B.S. for the state.
And for the defense, please.
Yes, Timothy Jansen on behalf of Mr. Arnold. Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Jansen. Is your microphone on? Just to make sure it's a green light on.
It was not on. It is on now.
Why don't you state your appearance one more
R.
time?
Timothy Jansen on behalf of Mr. Arnold.
Thank you very much. Mr. Arnold, you're charged with 4 counts of robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon less than $750 and 4 counts of kidnapping to harm or terrorize.
Judge, I need to clarify, one of those counts that you just read off for each of the charges is actually a conspiracy count. It's 3 armed robbery, 3 counts of kidnapping, and a conspiracy to kidnap and a conspiracy for armed robbery.
I see that. I apologize. So for the purposes of our docket today, because the warrant has already determined probable cause at those levels, count number 4, count number 7 will be conspiracy to commit robbery with a firearm, a felony of the 2nd degree. And count number 8, this is as in the warrant, is conspiracy to commit kidnapping to harm or terrorize, a felony 2nd. Sorry, Mr. Diaz, go ahead.
Your Honor, we filed a pretrial detention motion. I know that we sort of preliminary discussed we would be available for Monday morning for here.
All right. And you only filed on the 6 PBLs, is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Mr. Jansen, at this stage, I'll hear any objections you have to the facial sufficiency of the motion since probable cause has already been determined by a judge in issuing the warrants.
Yes, Judge, I understand that probable cause has already been established, and they filed their motion. We are asking, he's absolutely denying these allegations, and we're asking to have a bond hearing as soon as possible. I believe 9:30 on Monday is appropriate.
Okay.
And we can be ready for that.
Okay.
However, Judge, I do want to make one thing for the record. In reviewing the pre-trial detention order and the charges, it appears that much, if not all, of these charges against my client rely on the testimony of 2 co-defendants who entered pleas recently. We would ask that the court have the government give us a copy of those pleas prior to the detention hearing, because we believe it may be Brady material. And we would also ask that their prior statements that were made when they were arrested be disclosed, because that may contain Brady information for the detention hearing.
Okay. You're not entitled to any discovery before a pretrial detention hearing. If you'd like to re-raise that with the judge who's handling the hearing, I'll be happy to address that. I'm going to deny that request at this time. But, you may want to talk to Mr. Diaz and then talk with Chief Judge Sabella if you'd like a continuance. You have the right to request that under Rule 3.132.
I understand.
I'm not sure at this point it's proper for me to order the state to do that, given the rules that are in place for a pretrial detention hearing. But I certainly appreciate that request, Mr. Jansen, and I'll deny it at this time without prejudice to re-raising that issue to the extent you feel it's necessary for preparing for the hearing. Okay.
Right, Judge. And our problem is if we file the motion and have a hearing on it, it'll delay our hearing.
I understand. All right. So because there's no objections to the facial sufficiency of the motion, the rule requires me to set a hearing within 5 days on the state's motion for pretrial detention. So, Mr. Arnold, because you've been arrested on 6 dangerous crimes under Section 907.0415A, that are first-degree felonies categorized as dangerous crimes and punishable by life in prison, you are going to be held at no bond on those charges until we can have a hearing on the state's motion for pretrial detention. That hearing is going to be Monday, June the 29th at 9:30 in the morning in courtroom 1 in front of Chief Judge Sabella. If the parties have any issues before then, including tomorrow, you can raise them with my office. I'll coordinate with Chief Judge Sabella, and I'll be happy to address them in any way that I can, okay?
Thank you.
Man, that boy, they had him in a suicide fit. That was the green.
And with this, Spot Rack quickly took to his X account to break down Terrion Arnold's contract. So Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold has 2 years and $4.8 million guaranteed remaining on his rookie contract, plus a potential 5th-year option for the 2028 season. So any suspension stemming from a violation of the league's conduct policy would void the $4.8 million in guaranteed money. James, when I first saw this, I was surprised, super surprised, and especially for us, with his story, he did come from Tallahassee, even though he did go to Bama. So this one's kind of a little different for people in that Tallahassee area. But man, you could see the charges, and you could see that he got denied bail. And man, just what's going through your mind when you first saw the news and you saw the videos and the tweets start to really roll in and flood in?
I remember when this came up in February. I believe it was February, but remember it was a little while back. I ain't gonna hold you. There's always holes to pick apart, and the more information that the prosecution leaks, typically the better your case is, because they're trying to try you in a court of public opinion. When you know you got an airtight, you keep as much to the vest. But what we do know is not good. You ain't got to go to law school to know this one. One of the words that, again, Tyrion, this before we get into that, Tyrion's a good kid. And it provided me an opportunity to have a conversation with my son. And it's a conversation that a lot of us need to start truly having. And it's not I hate when people try to make, because I tell a lot of black people that y'all just aren't around enough white people. And I try to tell white people, like, y'all aren't around enough white people. Or around enough black people that to where you can have a counter argument of what it is. Every culture has the tough guy bravado mindset. Every culture has their own version of snitches get stitches, or it's not like Italians, omerta. Mexicans have it. White people call it staying in code. Like we call it, well, black people call it white people staying in code. Yeah, like for example, like just look at it from a political standpoint. You can disagree with somebody in your party all you want, but you're not going to disagree with them in public.
Right.
Like you're going to keep your mouth shut and you're going to keep rolling with it. So I'm gonna go back to the bravado thing. We see it all the time on social media. President Obama kind of talked about it on All the Smoke. I don't know if y'all saw it, where he said, certain individuals not named have a lot to say behind a computer screen or a phone. But when they're in front of me, and trust, there's been multiple times they've been in front of me, they have not had that same energy. So y'all can deduce who he was talking about. But behind the thumbs, we'll have people say liberals are pussies, but at the same time say that all the violence is caused by liberals. That's kind of a mind fuck, right? How can somebody be both pussy and afraid of confrontation, but also killing everybody? But we'll also see people say, I'll shoot you, or they have dream scenarios where they're saying, where they want to like inflict violence on people. But they're the most but they're also law-abiding citizens. I've seen it in black culture because I'm black. I don't know if y'all realize this, but I'm black. But I look at everybody's stuff, but I'm black. I've seen it with us, and I tell people. It's why I don't want to hear, oh, man, he was so stupid. Because I see us OGs get with our fucking thumbs and get very reckless with our thumbs. Oh, they stole something for you, dog. You can't have that, dog. You got to go get it back in blood, right? Whole song, love that song. I got my own fight. I don't need security in the club. All that woofing on the neck. I thought you was a thug. Like again, shit. Pooh Shiesty literally is in shit about to go back to jail again because he had to get it back in blood when he could have just fought it in the legal system or gone about certain things and got his money and stayed free. And nothing in particular, the way we show men, the way men, not black men show their toughness is I gotta show you. No, you don't. The way rich people get people like that, this is why I'll be like, man, some of y'all be talking so reckless and without realizing that it's a rich person that like if you clip this is how you gotta do. It's the nigga moment from the Boondocks. Have you seen nigga moment 2 before, Miles? Yeah, it's the second one. So like they come in and the black dude hits the white man. He's like, hey, he's like, you want to start something? He's like, I'm white. And he just walks away, I'm white. I don't need this. And it's not so much that he's white, it's so much that you're in a different class that I don't have to do that shit. I'm gonna use a example of another person that I know. Happens to be white, but he also happens to have some really good white people or people in his corner. Carson Beck, remember what happened at the beginning of the last football season? He had his Lambo and the twin that he was fucking at the time, they all got their car stolen, right? They called the police. And there's this thing that rich people have or that everybody should have. I encourage a lot of you guys, if you don't have any of it, I got a guy, Anton Oakley, who's my barber. He's selling insurance now. Get you some fucking insurance and get your shit back in cash. Insurance should have handled it, but nah, I'm going to tell you what happened. Man, you can't let them cats, man. They set us up, dog. You can't let them cats come in there and do this, man. What about your name? Man, I was talking to a dude the other day. He said, man, nah, man, I ain't like you, man. I'm straight. You also don't own a major credit card. You also can't sign a lease for yourself. Like, we have so many things that have to show. I got to show you I'm a man. I don't. I'm going to show you by filling out this insurance policy. I'm gonna make some more money because right now, what he lost, that $200K, I guarantee you, he's paying more in lawyer. He's gonna end up paying more in lawyer fees, right? If he gets off, and he's gonna lose $2.8 million. No, excuse me, $4.8 million of guaranteed money. That is an expensive ass thing for you trying to be something that you're not. He's a good kid. He went to, even if like his family situation, somebody put a silver spoon. He was not born with a silver spoon. It wasn't a rusty spoon either, but it wasn't no silver spoon. But you did go to two schools that provided you a really, really good education. And I'm not going to get into the particulars, but there was one thing that happened at the first school that made him go to the second school. So now I will say this, when you have a propensity to have bullshit follow you, sometimes you might be the bull that's shitting. And I hope he gets off. But there was one word in there, and I know Jaden is going to be our legal team here soon, but I told my son, the word I never want to hear if I'm ever being charged with anything is fucking conspiracy. Jaden, are you familiar with conspiracy in a legal sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't need a bunch of solid information to prove somebody is in conspiracy. You just need to have something that ties that connects them to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Text messages, FaceTime. You show up, bitch. You are guilty. Even if you didn't do it, you are guilty. Jay-Z's homeboy, I believe Tata, got hit with he got 5 years for it, but he got hit with he pled. He got hit with a conspiracy for murder charge because he gave the card of a guy who the killer was looking for to the killer, and they tied him to it, and he was already a felon. It's a lot of things, like conspiracy is how they get a lot of the drug kingpins, and when they put that he was the leader, it looks even worse because now he's the money guy, and all he got to do is do that. And then you got 2 cats that's already turned state on you. And I peeped what his lawyer was trying to do, but when the judge was just like, nah, no, I'm not giving you that information, sir. Kidnapping, and I always tell people, kidnapping is also one of those loose definitions. Like, Miles, if I grab you from this room and take you to the living room, I just kidnapped you. It's so much wordplay in a lot of these different things, and shit, and it was all for his birthday party. I had, again, it's the connections that we have with a lot of these people. I was talking to one of my friends, and her son was supposed to go down with him that weekend. He just said, "Nah, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna train." And just you see how, and I was trying to tell Trey, you see how quick that decision just changed. Imagine if he would have went, he would have been in the group chat. He would have probably had to go there. Now you're a part of it. You're party to it. Yeah. And there was 2 women involved. I know who snitched. They always get the women.
Oh, he knows.
And his partner's gonna snitch too. It's a former Florida Gator that transferred to FIU in it. It's a lot of guys that have absolutely no reason trying to behave like there's some underworld kingpins. And that's the part that bothers me more than anything. This was if you're going, hell and prison are the 2 worst places to go on accident. If you're gonna be a boss and learn how to do it clean. Stop doing the shit so sloppy.
Stop doing it yourself.
That part. Bigger than that, $200K insured jury is not that much money. It probably would have cost you $2,000 to $3,000 for a plan. You got it. Put it on a card. Or just fuck it. Just get something else if you got stuffed the wrong way. Even if he gets off, there is enough connecting him to this dumb shit that no team is going to play with him. No, he's not. He hasn't. The juice is not worth the squeeze. And he's a good kid. Good. That's man. Oh, Jaden got bumped out. But I'm taken aback, man. But I told my son, you gotta be careful of the people you hang around. You're accountable for all of that. So we got Jaden back now.
Poly Market Football did put out this shortly after the Arnold situation. So if you take a look at the arrests per year since 2000 through the 4 major sports leagues, you got NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL. 47, 22, 17.5, and 2.5. So per capita, the NFL has the most with 48.9, NBA 27.6, MLB 23.3, and NHL 3.6. You can see, I just thought this was a crazy graphic to put, especially after.
Can I put this in perspective? Let's just put this in perspective. Arrest per year, right? Wait a minute, hold on, my bad. Okay, yeah. All right, so 1,000, so 47 people have been arrested per year with the NFL, right? How many people are on? I'm not even going to go full tilt. I'm going to go on the active roster in the NFL per year. Anybody have a guess? We'll just go. I'm around. Can I round up? I'm gonna round that up. You said it's 40, so I'm gonna go 50 arrests, right? And I'm gonna round up to 1,700. 50 divided by 1,700. That is less than 3% of the NFL.
Oh, they weren't giving percent.
No, that's how many people are arrested.
Yeah, some tricky numbers.
Now, one of the first things I learned when I was getting a degree in sports management is that sports is a microcosm of society. Percentage America. America is one of the most heavily incarcerated countries in the world. So it's just over the population of America. So 0.29% is what the NFL is. 0.22% of all Americans get arrested. So what it looks like is that they're just on par. It's just a reflection of America. And it doesn't tell you what the arrests are for. Most of the arrests are probably domestic. Which we've seen motherfuckers biting cell phones and shit. They're also the NFL is also in a market where they're, again, I hate to tell you this, it's like the statistic that says black people are the most violent. No, we're the most prosecuted. We're also the most exonerated. It's also a thing where people get arrested and don't get charged with anything more than anybody in the NFL. So I'll say baseball and basketball. You know why it's hard to get arrested in baseball and basketball? It spent 65% of their time literally on the road. They ain't got time to get in trouble for shit. 85 games and half of them are on the road. Like you in a hotel or you hotel hooping or fucking. That's it. I can't tell you about the NHL because I don't really know much about that. But like that's that's just my piece on that. I don't like, again, crime is relative. Like it ain't that prevalent in America in general.
The parents of former All-Pro NFL running back Doug Martin says excessive force by police and delayed medical care led to his death last year, according to a wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Oakland, California, several police officers, and an ambulance company.
I don't really know. I'm not familiar with all of the information on the Doug Martin situation, but I do know that if them motherfuckers scared of you, dog, they're not gonna help you, and that's not right at all. But like we've seen it time and time again, like they'll shoot a motherfucker, have them bleeding out, and then put them in handcuffs, or they'll put their they'll put their foot on your neck and you're gasping for air and they'll tell you to stop struggling. Like just like things that don't even make sense. Like your natural reaction to live is an affront to them at times. Yeah, I mean, listen. I ain't gonna hold you with the police. I'll say, Calais Campbell's a big motherfucker, but that's why I always tell people, sometimes you just, if you're that's not a coward. It's just like it's not a coward's job. You need to go work a desk, or it's also shouldn't be a thrill seeker's job either. So, but all in all, man, it's a wild. That's a sad thing, man. Nobody wants to see their loved one die.
NFL decided to post this great graphic right here to look at the touchdown leaders since 2000. There's some crazy numbers on this list, but let's start at the bottom. No surprise here, Marshall Faulk is led the way in touchdowns in 2000, 2001. Had crazy numbers. Priest Holmes as well, no surprise. And then you got Sean Alexander, the Seahawks, and T, who has the highest number on this list with 31 total touchdowns in 2006. Definitely an historic season for sure. Randy Moss with 23, D'Angelo Williams, Adrian Peterson, Arian Foster, legend, Sean McCoy, Arian Foster again, Jamal Charles, Marshawn Lynch, Allen Robinson, B. Marsh, Devontae Freeman, Doug Baldwin, David Johnson, Todd Gurley back to back, CMC, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler back to back, Raheem Mostert, CMC, Jameer Gibbs, and last year you had JT, Jonathan Taylor finishing out that list. But James, you think anyone is beating LT's record of 31 touchdowns in a season?
Nah, that's a lot of points, man.
Yeah. Didn't he have like 100 receptions and 100 rushes that year?
It was something insane, man. Something insane.
Shout out to LT and shout out to the new touchdown leader that we will be having next year. Good luck to whoever's going to get that crown. And speaking of getting that crown, let's look at the Pro Football Network division winners. So who will win their division? So these chances are based on 100,000 simulations. So they actually have the Jaguars winning the AFC South with a 33.3% chance. The Pittsburgh Steelers winning the AFC North, but only with a 16.6% chance. No faith in Lamar and company. The Denver Broncos have a 48.6% chance to win the AFC West. No surprise there with Patrick Mahomes coming off of injury. And then you have the Patriots with a 30.8% chance. I'm sure that would have been a little higher if they didn't have the Buffalo Bills in their division. But let's go to the NFC, starting with the Eagles on the left. The Eagles have a 43.5% chance to win the NFC East. Seahawks, the Super Bowl champs, have a 36.3% chance to win the NFC West, the hardest division in football. The Chicago Bears, 32.6% chance to win the NFC North. And last but not least, you have the Panthers to win the division with an 18.2% chance. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And James, who do you have as your early division winners if you had to choose?
Patriots. I'm cool with the Broncos, Ravens, Jags. I know it ain't gonna be the Cowgirls. I'm cool with the Eagles. Did they not realize that fucking Myles Garrett is with the Rams now? Duh. I think the Bears were a fluke. I can't in good faith say anything nice about the Vikings. I'm going with the Packers. And believe it or not, I'm going with I'm going with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Apparently, I don't believe in the petite, pretty princess that much. I think that was a fluke that the Panthers won. The Redskins could beat the Eagles, though. If they got to rely on Jalen Hurts throwing the ball, man, I'm sorry, man. Everybody got mad, but it was facts that said that Jalen Hurts ain't a great quarterback. Nah, that's my dog. She ain't my dog now. I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna ride with my homie, but I just, I like Tetris, but I have absolutely no faith in that organization.
Pete Prisco decided to rank the quarterbacks for the 2026 season. No surprise that Matt Stafford isn't on this list. He is your NFL MVP. And let's take a look of the squad. I want to make sure you guys can hear me, James. Can you hear me all good?
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit.
Okay, just I'm gonna get right quickly and give your opinion. But Matthew 1, Josh Allen 2, Burrow 3, Patrick Mahomes 4, Lamar Jackson 5, Dak, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, and Justin Herbert around your top 10 list. James, what do you think about the top 10 of this list right here?
Why are we giving Joe Burrow so much love? The best ability is availability. I'm not saying he's not in the top 10, but let's move him back a little bit. Blow it up again, real quick. I don't like Joe at 3. Dak Prescott probably needs to be lower, but he needs to be on the list. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. Ain't nobody been harder on Trevor Lawrence than me. If Justin Herbert's in 10, that's Trevor Lawrence's 10 spot. What play? Like, name me what outside of this. Actually, let's. I don't want to. That's my opinion. That's my opinion with no facts to base it. But let's try to see if we can find some. Let's pull up. Can you pull up Justin? I don't know if there's a way you could do it side by side, but let's pull up Justin Herbert's stats and key wins. I do believe he has them in the stats, but let's look at playoff wins. I mean, shit. Fuck it. Let's look up head to head.
I was there.
Like, is a person better than you that's never beaten you? But then again, I can't say that because there is a way to do that. Stat head. Okay. Oh, I gotta verify if I'm a human. Oh, there is a way. So, all right. So if I send you this link, Jaden, do you think you'll be able to you'll be able to put it up then, right? Where is it? Right. Yeah, boom, right there. I mean, and I want this clipped. I want this Justin Sherbert. Justin Sherbert is his name. He is the most hyped guy who ain't done shit. He ain't Phillip Rivers, dog. But he kind of is. But I think Phillip at least won. Phillip took him to an AFC championship one year, right? Justin Herbert, by the way, has had more games than Trevor. Damn near 18 more games than Trevor. But has zero. He is 0-3 against Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Philip Rivers did go to the NFC.
Okay, that's what I thought. He's got one more playoff win. One more Pro Bowl than him. He's also been on better teams. Justin Herbert has. Both guys have 2 playoff appearances. 2 playoff games that they've. My bad. I'm reading the wrong thing. That was there. They only show there. I want to see the overall. Now Trevor was in that bitch. Trevor threw 4. Trevor spotted him 4 picks, and then came back and scored 4 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. I'm trying to look at where's the wins. That's not what I wanted. I wanted Herbert. Click on just Herbert. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He was the Rookie of the Year. But outside of that, man, what's the star? Excuse me. He's had 3 playoff appearances, 2022, 24, and 25. So clearly he's only played in 3 games. So one could deduce that he's been there 3 times and he's lost in the first round every time. Let's just go back and let's continue to look at the I want to put San Diego. It's not San Diego anymore. That's when you know you're getting old. You start naming, like you call them the Oakland Raiders. Like you don't want to go with it. You don't want to adapt to the times. Yeah, he's got more, but Trevor's got, like they made it back to back playoff. They played in the wild card. They lost 32-12 to the Houston Texans in 2024. They lost to New England last year 16-3. And then they lost to the Jaguars 31-30 in 2022. And for those who don't remember, the Chargers, led by Herbert, had a 27-0 lead. Oh no, he's that, but yeah, they give it to him. He's got more yard, even without the amount of games. Trevor has the same amount of interceptions as him. But I'm talking about for right now, game on the line. You want to win a playoff game. That's not good. He's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but if you wanted to win, but who do you have more faith in?
Right. That's interesting because I think of him as the biggest loser out of all of these, well, besides Tua.
Name, brand, and popularity. That doesn't win you anything, though. He had a good tight end. He had Keenan Allen. He's always had a number 1 wide receiver. He's had Derwin James last year and those guys on defense. He's had better teams. And for a while, the AFC West was down. He had to go against the Raiders. He had to go. The Broncos just turned around and got better. Who am I missing? Oh, he had to go up against KC, but still, you could have still fought to become that number 2 spot. We see Justin Herbert in Jacksonville. We see food. Nobody fears Justin Herbert. Even on bad Jacksonville Jaguars teams, nobody has feared him. You can't fear somebody that's never beaten you. One day at a time, what do you think about the NFC East? I think the Giants got a better coach. I'm interested in what they're going to do, but I can't give them that with Jackson Dart right now. We'll see. Philly is Philly. They have a basically have not a tradition. They have a mindset, a mantra. That's kind of how they get down. I do like what the little he just reminds me of a pirate. But Jaden Daniels, I like what they got. And the Cowboys are just the Cowboys until they're not. Like, they are the most popular team because they had a really, really good run when the NFL, I believe, during fuck all that nostalgic NFL film shit. The 90s for me in Germany. That's probably because that's the era when I started to learn about who I was and my identity. The most cherished memories I have are in the 90s. But that's when you saw the Cowboys win their 3 Super Bowls. And you saw them have playmaker. You saw them have like guys. And so we're still riding that. And the Cowboys have had multiple spurts where they've had runs with some of the best, most iconic players. But the Cowboys have not done a damn thing since that point. And I believe that's Jerry Jones's fault. Like, Jerry Jones got to figure out how to not be a creeper. Jerry Jones knows dick sizes of his players, but he doesn't know how to win. You there, Jaden? All right, this looks sexy right here.
Cheesesteak breadsticks. It's been a while since I've made something big back for y'all, so I just knew I had to make this. And of course, it did not disappoint. It was cheesy, so delicious, and I'm about to show y'all how I made it. To a cast iron, I heated up some olive oil. I sauteed my onion and bell pepper before adding in my steakums. You can also use any shaved beef for this recipe. Once it was fully cooked, I seasoned it really good with salt, pepper, Cajun seasoning, and Worcestershire sauce. Next, I added some provolone cheese and gave it a nice mix until my cheese fully melted. Next, I melted a stick of butter, added in some minced garlic and parsley, and gave that a nice mix. I spread out my pizza crust to an oven-safe dish, poured half of the butter mixture on top along with my cheesesteak mixture and mozzarella cheese. I carefully folded the other half of the pizza crust on top, making sure it was fully closed, and I added some more butter on top along with more mozzarella cheese, and I used the pizza cutter to cut it into strips. Next, I baked it in the oven on 400 for about 15 to 20 minutes or until it was golden brown.
All right, so I need people to stop giving us layups. Like,
that's too big.
I mean, steak, bell peppers, and onions, man, with some salt and pepper on it. Okay, baby, you didn't add nothing. Like, you didn't create. This isn't a creation. This is just good. Like, you made a steak and cheese in a calzone. Excuse me, not a calzone. Calzone has ricotta and a stromboli. You just didn't give us no tomato sauce. Of course we're gonna eat that shit. Give me 2 of them. Like, yeah, that's just busting, man. Oh yeah, man. There's a lot all that cheese, but that's what the weekends are for. That's why God created weekends for you to eat shit so that you can you gotta spend a little extra time on the toilet. You're all right.
Can you hear me? Am I cutting in and out?
Yeah, we get you.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, don't know why it was giving me trouble today, but I just wanted to share that BS or busting video with you guys. Hopefully, I didn't want to interrupt it because I know I wanted to get through the BS or busting food review rating, and it looks like it is a busting for sure, for sure. But since we touched up on the quarterback rankings and everything like that, that's all I had on my end. James, if there's anything more you would like to say as we bring in this weekend's episode of Big Games BS.
In another moment of another episode of Jaheim Was Wrong and Put That Woman First. Have y'all seen the LeVar Ball interview?
No.
So unfortunately, LeVar Ball is getting a divorce from his wife. LeVar Ball, notably the head of the Ball brothers, pause. 3 sons, helped raise them basically by himself, especially wife had a stroke. She was, I'm not gonna say that, but he said she doesn't look as good to him anymore. So, but he talked about, I remember one of this when he first got, like, before, which one was it? LaMelo, is that the oldest one? Or is it Lamar? But anyways, before the first one was getting ready to come on the scene, they had him. He was in the kitchen cooking, and he was just talking about raising the boys, being their coach, doing all these different things for him, and taking care of his wife. How proud, like how much of a, like, he loved doing that shit. He was like, man, she's beautiful. He's like, she thinks she's beautiful to me every day. He talked, he was very braggadocious, and he loved that white woman. Helped get those boys in there, loved her, got her back from the strokes for her to go want to get another stroke. She wants to leave him because she wants something different. This man lost a leg. And like now, like he couldn't take care of himself and taking care of her and the boys. And she, like, if this were reversed, we would be hearing all kinds of shit. Like, this would be front page news. They would vilify him. And the craziest thing is in his humility. He just says, man, we had a good run. She gave me 30 years, blah, blah, blah. He's like, even with her stroke, she was never ugly to me. She doesn't look the same way to me now because of what she said, but like, it was just a thing where he's not bashing her. He's not saying anything inflammatory about her, even during this time. And like, I saw somebody post like, oh, he was being a good husband. That's not what that has to do with anything. Like, women are quick to get on here and say that men tend to leave when it gets the hardest. But we have example after example of that shit happening to men all the time. Nobody has a monopoly on ain't shit. I can promise you that. But I was just taken aback because it was one of the things that made me admire Lamar even more. And here I got this audio for it. Hold on. Pause this. So y'all can just hear this, man. This is a man, like, again, what I like about this, though, this is maturity on his part.
You know, with my wife, you know, who Tina decided to go her own way. That's why you don't see her right here. But she want to go do something else, that's fine with me. We had our run. So even though she had the stroke and getting older, she would never be like, oh, man. She was always beautiful in my eyes until you say, I want to go do something else. Yeah. Now you're not as beautiful to me again. And the fact that if you decide to go this way, I'm going to go that way. That's fine. That's deep. It is what it is, man. I mean, like I said, anytime you can find somebody you can stay in love with for a long time, or for one day or whatever, if you can witness that love, that's good. I had that with her. And I found somebody else, but it is what it is. Wait, who? No need to worry.
Oh, okay. Now I see. I didn't get that's some OG wisdom right there, though. That's some OG wisdom. My guy said, I got somebody else, though. Shit, that's crazy. That's crazy. But not that, and then more saga on the the front with the woman, the white woman that was giving up the box to the Patriots coach.
Oh, Deanna.
Yeah, I ain't mad at this right here. Personally, I think this is smart. There's an article, I guess, that came out, whatever, but apparently she got pulled over for a ticket and she would FaceTime NFL head coaches to get out of it. I mean, to get out the ticket with reporters. I mean, with cops. She asked him, who's your favorite team? And she just FaceTime that coach.
Oh, really?
And let him talk to him. I'm like, hey, I've heard of women using the boobs, but using the FaceTime is amazing. So
that's funny.
Listen, man, I ain't, you gotta use what you got on that. But outside of that, man, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Check out some different things going on, man. Get out with your family. And I appreciate everybody for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys next time.